Welcome back to Hot Water Wrestling. Give me a hell yeah. That's sparkling water, though. Not as tough as a Stone Cold beer here at 1 p.m. sharp in South Florida, the Miami area. And here I am with my Wrestlemania 28 review. Finally. Tried to get this up sooner, but I just could not do it. Had people staying at the house, had a lot of crazy stuff because it was a great weekend filled with wrestling joy. And so I hope I'm not too late. I got a lot of videos to make today. I'm just going to make them all in a row. So anyways, what did I think of WrestleMania 28? Well, I was there live, okay? And so when you're at an event live, obviously it's different than watching it at home on pay-per-view. It's more exciting. You feel the energy in the air. It was my first WrestleMania. I've waited my whole life to be there, and so I enjoyed it immensely. I thought it was fantastic. I had a great time. I came home after WrestleMania. It's funny, real quick. My wife, who kind of puts up with my wrestling, you know, she knows what's going on because we live together, obviously. And at the last minute, my brother-in-law, let me back up. My brother-in-law had flown down with his girlfriend, and he loves wrestling, and so he was going to Mania with me, along with a few other friends, and actually my father, who at the last minute decided to come, and he took me to wrestling events when I was a kid, so that was really cool homecoming of sorts. So long story short, my brother-in-law's girlfriend and my wife are at home. We're about to leave for WrestleMania, and they decide they're going to order the pay-per-view. And I was like, honey, you better watch that pay-per-view because I ain't paying $70 for a pay-per-view and I'm going live. You got to promise me. But she did, so they actually sat home and watched the pay-per-view. So therefore, they recorded it. So when I got home from WrestleMania, I checked it out. But then yesterday afternoon, I took the whole day off, just hung out, and I watched WrestleMania on the pay-per-view, thing for the whole 4 hours. I watched the whole show. So my review is going to have the live experience, and I went back and watched the tape of WrestleMania, and here are my thoughts. I hope that wasn't too long-winded intro for you. Okay, so the show starts immediately with the Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan. Now, first off, let me give my disclaimer. I am a big Bryan Danielson fan. I was very happy for him that he went into WrestleMania the World Heavyweight Champion. We never even thought that would happen, and it was a great moment. As you saw in my predictions video, I predicted Sheamus to win that match. Not just in the fashion he did. But anyways, I said this the night it happened. I said this yesterday morning. I thought it was great. Yes, we got gypped out of a Daniel Bryan match. I know a lot of people are pissed off, but I haven't changed my tune. I thought it was great. Sheamus went in there and kicked him in the face and pinned him and took the title. It was a jaw-dropping way to start the show. I mean, I'm sitting in my seat going, oh my God. And don't get me wrong, I love Daniel Bryan, and there is a little bit of a shame there that he wasn't able to strut his stuff on the WrestleMania card. Sheamus is a good enough worker that I thought they could have put on a great match. But what they did, it just ignited the crowd. I mean, people were like, holy shit. Okay, I know a lot of people were pissed off, but, you know, Vince isn't afraid to piss people off. So I'm going to stick by my guns here. I thought it was a cool opening to the show. It was just so unexpected and just was like, wow. All right, and then we moved on. I'm not going to do the card in complete order. I think the next match was Randy Orton versus Kane. I was very shocked to see Kane win this match. The match was exactly what I expected. No more, no less. It was a very watchable 3-star match. It was good, solid, it was fine. Not very eventful, except for the fact that Kane won. I was really shocked because Orton has taken a backseat this year by going on SmackDown, not having a main event. It was still daylight out when he wrestled at WrestleMania. I thought they were going to give the guy the win, but no dice. Kane wins. It totally shocked me there. Another big shocker. Then we had the the Divas match, Kelly and Maria versus Beth and Eve Torres. You know, what can you say? It's just a silly Divas match. Props to, what's her face? Maria Menounos for, going in there with the broken ribs. I could tell that was not a kayfabe injury because she was very slow when she did her celebration on going up to the ring ropes and coming down. I loved Beth Phoenix's headdress. That was very cool. But, the match was what it was. And then you got the Intercontinental title match, Cody Rhodes versus the Big Show. I thought this match was pretty good. It wasn't great. But, being there live, all this stuff is just amazing. I mean, just seeing it all, it's just incredible. Big Show takes Cody Rhodes out with a big punch. I wouldn't have really had this any other way. If Big Show would have lost that match, it would have really been a heartbreaker. The guy has been embarrassed at WrestleMania for the good of the company, for the good of the show, like Floyd Mayweather and the sumo wrestling and on down the line. He's, deserving of winning a title here at WrestleMania 28. So it didn't do any damage to Cody. I don't know who's going to take that belt off of him, man. That's going to be a hard one. Who's going to go up there and beat Big Show? So then we have the Hell in a Cell match, I believe, was next. Phenomenal match, probably the best match of the night, just, from a wrestling standpoint. Amazing, totally entertaining. Started off a little slow. I didn't know what to think when we were watching it live. Shawn Michaels interfering all the time. It was really kind of irritating me. I was like, it's a Hell in a Cell match, Shawn. Why are you stopping him from bashing him with a chair? This is Hell in a Cell, buddy. It was good to see that they had some blood in the match. It wasn't maybe on purpose. I personally think, because Undertaker's a fighter anyways, Triple H said, look, I know we're not allowed to blade, but you just deck me in the eye and make sure you cut my eye really good. So, they put on a really, really good match. I don't know if it was as good as last year's match. It was different. I'm glad it took place in Hell in a Cell, just to, throw a little different kind of spice into the mix. But I enjoyed it a lot. Everyone with me enjoyed it. And I think it was the match of the night in many respects. So it paid off. Who knows if it's The Undertaker's last match. He's now 20-0. I wouldn't be upset if it was his last match and he went out on top. Pretty crazy. He shaved his head. I thought he should have gone just full mohawk. Anyways, great match. Then we go to the 12-team tag match. This was just a nothing thing. I actually got up and walked around and got some merch, which I don't have right now, but I'll make a video with my merch. I didn't really watch the match too much. I came back for the end of it. It's just they had to fit all these guys on the card. It's a shame that, I wish that, and this is where I'm going to elaborate, we had a lot of musical filler. We had Machine Gun Kelly, we had Brodus Clay, the Funkasaurus, and then we had Flo Rida. And I'm going to get to that in a minute, but those three things took up a boatload of time. Where I think they could have had a Jack Swagger, Dolph Ziggler match. I think that, on Raw before WrestleMania, they should have had a falling out and had a feud match at Mania, a singles match, Ziggler and Swagger would have made sense. I think Rey Mysterio's injury, Alberto Del Rio's injury, Wade Barrett's injury, those three injuries, played a huge part in the fact that Miz did not get a singles match at WrestleMania, because we all know that Orton was set to feud with Barrett at Mania, and that went down the pipes. And not having Mysterio in there or Del Rio in there, those are three big, main event names that could not wrestle, and so it sort of screwed things up, and I guess that's why they had this match. But I would have loved to seen a ladder match with, Kofi Kingston and Santino and R-Truth and Zack Ryder, whatever, I think would have been better, but oh well. Actually, Santino and Mick Foley's skit with the the crabs with the what's it called, the deadliest catch. I actually cracked up. I thought that was really funny. That went over really well in the stadium. And then the Hall of Fame inductees came out. Edge was very emotional. I have to say I got choked up myself. I could tell he was very frustrated. He was very upset that his career was over. He was looking around, taking it all in, knowing that he's never going to be able to run down the entranceway to his great music, which should go in the Hall of Fame alongside him, the Alter Bridge song. But props and hats off to Edge. It was a great moment. Seeing the Hall of Fame inductees out there and seeing Edge, he was very emotional, and you could tell the man just loves the business. Then we have CM Punk versus Chris Jericho. This was a great match, solid match. It didn't resonate as well live, actually, as it did on tape. When I went home and watched it the next day, it was even better. But I thought it was an excellent match. See these guys go at it, very technical display. They kind of put on a clinic for everybody in there. Not such a brutal beating the shit out of each other as we got with The Undertaker and Triple H, who beat the shit out of each other in there. I mean, they were battered and bruised. You could feel that in the seats, that Triple H Undertaker match. You could really feel it. I mean, they were pounding each other as much as they could. So long story short, the CM Punk Chris Jericho match I thought was very good. Totally shocked CM Punk won. Well, I guess I'm not totally shocked, but given the fact that we had all these other shockers throughout the evening, I'm not shocked. I guess I'm contradicting myself, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. I'm very happy CM Punk, another guy like Bryan Danielson who came up through ROH, has really defied the odds. I think when he first started wrestling in WWE and then he did his stint in ECW, I think a lot of people thought, okay, he's going to be a mid-card talent. I think at that time in 2007, 2008, we all thought John Morrison would be a WWE champion before CM Punk would be a WWE champion. And it has just been amazing watching his career. He is probably my favorite wrestler right now. My favorite active wrestler is CM Punk. Watching his career, being the underdog, and now being the main event WWE champion at Wrestlemania and walking out, beating Chris Jericho. It was amazing. All you CM Punk fans have to just be elated. If last night's any indication on Raw, he's got a tough year ahead of him to keep that belt, but hats off to CM Punk. And then we have the Funkasaurus Brodus Clay comes out and gets a huge push. Call my mama, all this. I mean, total time waster. I was hoping to God Stone Cold Steve Austin would just come out and stun his ass. I was just hoping to hear that window break, man. I was just, God, that was just terrible. Machine Gun Kelly came out, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Then John Cena comes out and does his entrance, okay? And it was odd because Cena didn't really have that special of an entrance, really. I guess the Machine Gun Kelly tie-in was what it was. It was like past years. He's had the clones come out. He's had the soldiers, all this crazy shit. But this year, I was kind of let down by Cena's entrance. I was like, really? That's it? He comes out. And then he has to wait in the ring while Flo Rida comes and performs. And then The Rock comes out. Flo Rida's still on stage with his band. I thought this was very badly and poorly done. I think we should have cut the Funkasaurus out of the pay-per-view altogether. At least, maybe give him a little blip or something, but not what he had. I mean, not this full dance routine. Completely unnecessary. We could have spent time on a match. I think a lot of you will say we could have spent time on Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus, okay? But anyways, amazing. Oh God, someone's calling me. I'm getting distracted. This is my WrestleMania review. Anyways, it was not amazing. The fucking entrances. It was very distracting to the match. I really wish they just would have done that differently. If I could rebook it myself, I would have just not had Machine Gun Kelly out there at all, and I would have had Flo Rida perform before Cena and The Rock came out all together, and just done clean entrances for these guys, because it really was like the anticipation when Cena comes out and he comes in the ring. We're all waiting for The Rock. We're waiting for this match. We've waited for a year for this match to start, and now Flo Rida's going to perform. Who gives a shit? Anyways, The Rock comes out. People are just going bananas. They proceed to have a great match. It actually exceeded my expectations, to be perfectly honest with you. I didn't know how it was all going to go down, but it really, really exceeded my expectations. I thought it was a really cool match. Very exciting. It kept me on the edge of my seat the whole time. I went back, like I said, this review is my live review, but also my review from on tape. I don't know how anyone could really be disappointed with the John Cena Rock match, and The Rock went over. That's the one thing I did not think was going to happen. If you watch my predictions, I thought for sure they would let Cena go over. But The Rock went over, and it was just amazing. The place just went bananas. It was on fire. I think there might have been a riot if John Cena would have won that match. And who knows, maybe Brock Lesnar coming back had something to do with The Rock going over. Who knows? I don't know what the mentality was there. Who knows how many times they changed the decision, whether or not they were going to let Cena go over or not backstage. I'm sure that they had to have, wrestle around with the idea for a long time. But at the end of the day, I didn't really see it this way. I thought for sure they were going to have Cena go over. But now that I actually look at it and I experienced it, I think it was a really good move. I don't think it hurt John Cena's character for him to lose that match to The Rock. It's actually given John Cena a little bit more purpose if you think about it. Now he's really got something to fight for, which is reclaiming his name, which is, restaking his top spot. He was kind of dethroned, and of course we'll get to this on my next video about Raw. Brock Lesnar coming out and pancaking his ass in the ring on Raw the very next night. Now in 2012, John Cena has to crawl his way back to the top. So he has a storyline, doesn't he? And there's unfinished business between him and The Rock, isn't there? So they can go places with this. Cena beats The Rock. Obviously, The Rock's going to be out for revenge, but Cena beats The Rock. He's at the top of the mountain, and he's been at the top of the mountain. He's been sitting at the top of the mountain for years now. So actually, this does give Cena's character more purpose and something to fight for in 2012. So at the end of the day, hats off to WWE. I think you made the right decision. All in all, obviously this WrestleMania kicked last year's WrestleMania's ass. Some of the undercard could have been better. Absolutely. I don't want to overrate the undercard at all. But the matches, the Orton match, the Orton-Kane match, the Big Show Rhodes match, they were what I expected out of those matches. I didn't expect anything more or less from either of those. So, they were the undercard matches I thought they would be. Daniel Bryan and Sheamus, well, that left a little something to be desired in most fans. Even me, in a way. I mean, of course, there's disappointment that I didn't get to see him wrestle. And everyone's, gripes are valid, okay? But at the same time, wow, was it like a shocker. I mean, you should have seen everyone's face at that stadium. I mean, I was speechless. Everyone in my group was speechless. I mean, Sheamus just kicked him. Not the non-wrestling fans, but the newbie wrestling fans, the casual fans who didn't really know, they were completely blown away. I heard lots of people wanting to buy Sheamus t-shirts, and they're thinking he's just animal. So Daniel Bryan, of course, has to crawl his way back to the top. Hopefully he'll rebound from this, but at the end of the day, guys, for Daniel Bryan fans out there, this might end up being the best thing that ever happened to him, because he got screwed, and we all know last night on Raw, people were chanting his name. People were chanting yes, yes, yes all night. He is so over. People are all over this. He's getting more attention than he may have ever gotten had he even won the match or actually had a decent contest. So at the end of the day, it might pay off for Daniel Bryan's character for this to have happened. Sheamus obviously is probably going to be a heel again because everyone's just completely livid at the guy. And Sheamus is a better heel than he is face, so, God bless him. Well, that is my WrestleMania 28 review. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything here. No, I didn't. And I hope you guys had a great time. I had a wonderful time WrestleMania weekend. I'm going to be making more videos. I'm going to make one about Raw. I'm going to make one about ROH. Brock Lesnar, obviously, I'll probably combine that with the Raw video. It's exciting, 2012. You know, I was even considering maybe toning down watching wrestling after Mania. But now I have to say I'm pumped again, so I'm not going anywhere. I'll see you next time on Hot Water Wrestling.